The Leave Your Legacy podcast is brought to you by Covenant Workplace Solutions. Covenant is a full-service workplace mental health and wellness partner, helping organizations across the country strengthen the lives of their employees and the families they go home to every day. Your employee assistance program should raise the bar, not simply check the box. And Storyline Multimedia. Storyline is an Iowa City-based media company that creates high-quality video, photo, and audio for local businesses. They produce a number of great podcasts, including this one. If you're interested in sharing your story, please contact them at storylinemultimedia.com. And remember, your story matters. Hello and welcome to the Leave Your Legacy podcast. I'm your host, Kenyon Murray, and today we have a very special guest, her first time to the show. I mean, I've had other family members and really good friends on the show, but this is the first time. So I just want to welcome our youngest, McKenna Murray. Welcome to the Leave Your Legacy podcast. How you doing today?
I'm good. Your best guest, your best family guest. Long awaited. I know everyone's been waiting for this one.
Probably. Well, we got a lot to cover. But so we're going to start. I think this is probably the question that maybe you get a lot. I know people ask me this question, but it's the elephant in the room question. And what has life been like for you now that you have not one, but two brothers playing in the NBA?
I never know how to answer that question because I feel like the only thing that can really sum it up is like surreal. Like I feel like even the past 3 years, it still really hasn't set in. Mm-hmm. And they're just like my brothers. Yeah. Like I don't view them as like, oh, professional athletes. They're just my brothers. Yeah. So for personally, nothing has changed. But like obviously in like the big world view, I wouldn't be where I am today if they weren't in the position that they are in. Yeah. Like I definitely wouldn't be going to school in Oregon. Yeah. Like that's a given. So.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the kind of goes into the next one. It's like, you know, people think that, okay, go to the NBA. And I joke about like Kris and Keegan are rich. We're not rich, right? We're still grinding. You know, you're grinding in school. I'm grinding out here doing this. But their platform has been very beneficial for us as a family. I mean, we've traveled places that we probably wouldn't have traveled because of that. A lot more travel, a lot more plane rides. Yeah. But then too, you being out in Oregon, you know, now your brothers are both on the West Coast too. So that's kind of cool. So speaking about how your life is, you know, I mean, it has changed, but hasn't changed. So question is, how have your brothers changed since they were drafted into the league?
Literally not at all. I feel like normally money and fame like tends to change people, but if anything, they've become like more nonchalant. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like Keegan, when he got caught on the drip cam in an Adidas sweatshirt that he had gotten probably 3 years prior, his old AAU shorts that probably went to his knees, no socks, and slippers that our mom bought him. Yeah. Like that's the best way to describe, if at all, the NBA has changed them. Yeah, absolutely. And like Kris is the same way. He just wears sweatshirt, sweatpants, and calls it a day.
And it's funny because sometimes, remember that one time I think it was the same day, but they're obviously in different cities, and they literally were wearing the exact same outfit. Like it's crazy. And I think that might be a twin thing because, you know, they didn't talk about what they were wearing that day. So no, I think that's funny. And I think, you know, that's one of the reasons why people love them as much as they do is because they haven't changed, regardless of if they still have the two best friends they had when they were 5 years old. Mm-hmm. They still have the same fantasy football league that they started when they were in like junior high with the same dudes, like, right? Like it's like nothing changes. And if there's anything that the NBA has done too, I think it's actually made them even more frugal when it comes to their money.
Yeah.
You know, like it's interesting to see what they'll spend it on and then what they won't. Like, okay, give me an answer. Yeah. Talk about like what you've seen them like. They might splurge on this, but then they're like super cheap on something else.
Yeah, when Keegan wouldn't buy Kris a hot dog when they were golfing, it's like a $5 hot dog. Yeah. He wouldn't buy it for him.
Right, but you heard
that was like right after Keegan got drafted too.
Just got drafted, but Keegan was like, "You got money too," because you know we had some NIL money coming in or whatever. But I know, right? He's like, "You got your own money." But then what was funny too was so Kris obviously when you get drafted in different spots, like there's different pay scales, and you heard about the Xbox, right?
No.
Oh gosh. So, they have the online Xbox league that they play, and Chris's Xbox was messing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so he hadn't played, and Keegan and Mitch were like, dude, like, you got to get on. So my Xbox isn't working right. And then Keegan goes, fine, I'll buy you a new one.
He bought him a new one. He bought him an Xbox to play football with each other, but he wouldn't buy him a hot dog.
Yeah, but it was one of those things like Keegan was like, he was jonesing for their online game thing to keep going. And
Give me a break. That's the most outrageous thing I've ever heard.
Well, but like I said, there's certain things they splurge on. Their dogs are one of them. Their dogs are one of them.
Yeah, because why does Keegan's dog get at least 20 toys any holiday?
I know.
His birthday, Christmas.
And he
probably been buying some toys for like St. Patrick's Day.
Probably, and he probably just, he goes on the road and finds something that he think Ollie will like and get it. So no, it's interesting, but they're the same two kids. But, let's get back to you. Enough about Kris and Keegan.
I'm saying.
Right? Yeah, let's get back to you. So, like I said, first year in college, but you start as a sophomore. So obviously we're super proud of that. But first, like, tell the audience like why you chose Oregon. You just made the comment like, hey, I probably wouldn't be going to Oregon if it wasn't for the boys being in the NBA. But why Oregon for McKenna Murray?
The main thing was I always knew I did not want to stay in state for college. Like I always knew that I didn't want to go to Iowa because I just wanted like a clean slate almost. And I knew if I went to Iowa, I would just see everyone that I know. And that just was not ideal for me personally. And then obviously Kris got drafted out to Portland. But even before that, when Keegan got drafted to Sacramento, I knew that like Oregon was kind of going to be like my safety school. Like I knew I was going to apply there. And then the California applications were too long. So I only applied to Oregon. And
here's our 4.2 students saying the college application was too long. So, all right, continue.
It was a lot of work. And then Oregon gave me a lot of money. So I was like, why am I going to finish my application for California schools if they just gave me a lot of money?
Yeah.
And I always knew I wanted to go to a big school. I knew I wanted to go to a big sports school because I wanted to go into sports business.
Yeah.
And Oregon was just perfect.
Yeah. No, it is. And it's gorgeous. If you haven't been there, like you need to go.
Yeah.
Even if it's just to drive around because the scenery is beautiful.
So beautiful.
But so obviously, first year in school, and I know you were very strategic in the classes that you chose. So how has that transition been for you going from high school academics to college academics?
I tried to make it easy on myself, especially because like we do trimesters, like terms. So I tried to make my first term relatively easy since I'm coming in with so many credits. And so I did 3 classes, pretty like entry level classes just to kind of get my bearings because obviously I took college classes in high school, but I took them all online. So the setting was super different. And I just wanted to be able to adjust to like being without my parents. I'm basically out there by myself. I knew I had like one friend and it was my roommate.
Yeah.
And I just like wanted to be able to like find my ground and like get a routine down and not have to worry about all the classes that I'm taking and make sure I'm like, I didn't want to overwhelm myself.
Yeah.
But then next term, I have to take all the gross, boring business classes.
Yeah.
I just wish I could just take my sports classes and call it a day, but.
Yeah, no, it's part of it. And you mentioned going out there and knowing one person, knowing your roommate, Megan. So that was my next thing is you don't have to be candid on your social.
What do you mean?
Because, I mean, you can talk about social, but as your dad, like, I don't need to be knowing
okay,
like
I'm
everything.
not going to talk about that on this. That is crazy.
But how has it been socially for you? Like friend groups and things like that? Like, has that been pretty seamless for you too?
Yeah. And I'm a big quality over quantity type of girl. So I knew like Greek life wasn't for me because I don't need to pay. Okay, that sounds bad, but like, I don't want to like pay a bunch of money and then like have to be forced to go to all these social events with like a bunch of girls.
Yeah.
And like I met one of my really good friends out there, Emily, at orientation, and that was super seamless. And then we kind of just like merged with her roommates. And then I met Kenzie over social media and she's like one of my best friends out there. And then Now I have a really good group. There's like 6 of us and we do like everything together.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would much rather have that than have like a couple like sporadic, like a bunch of friends, but like sporadic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, you're a lot like us, your mom and dad. Like
yeah, shit, I'd rather hang out with you guys.
I know. And it's good though. I mean, we like in the business I'm in, like, yeah, I meet a lot of people and I have a lot of associates, but the circle's still tight as far as the people that, you know, that intimately know me on certain levels. And, you know, I know it's the same thing for you, but how has the distance affected your friendships here? Because you have a lot of really good friends here. I mean, we talk about, you know, Ryan, you guys have been like best friends since 4th, 5th grade.
Yeah.
You know, your boyfriend is still here in the state. You got one of your really other good friends they're at Iowa and you got some at South Dakota. So how has that been for you as far as managing that? Because there could be, there can be distance that, you know, that really separates your friendships, but it seems like you've been able to navigate that pretty well too.
Yeah, I think especially now, like all teenagers are on their phones constantly, so that has made it a lot easier, obviously. But like finding time just to like catch up has been super big. Like finding time to like FaceTime or just like have like a little bit of a text conversation has been super nice. But all of the friendships that I've been able to keep stable and all the relationships I've kept stable since I moved away, they were all super, super strong before I left. So I knew that like no distance could really like fracture that. And like obviously leaving high school, I've only really kept in contact with not that many people, but like all the people that I've chosen to keep contact with are super, super special to me. And like I wouldn't go through like dealing with like having to maintain a really good relationship distance wise if they didn't mean that much to me.
Yeah. And we talked about it, right? Like we talked about like how many people are you actually going to keep in touch with from high school, right? And usually most people can count them on like maybe 2 hands as far as like these are the people I keep in contact with from high school on a regular basis. I mean, mine is, I can count them all on one hand, you know, pretty much. But I've also been in Iowa for 32 years, right?
Yeah.
You know, I left right after high school. And so the distance and that kind of thing can definitely affect that. But, you know, I think you've done pretty well. So how is it, friendships are one thing, but how is it, you know, managing as, you know, having a boyfriend that is here who's, I mean, let's give it to him. He's an engineering major. He's playing baseball. So he's super busy too. So how have you guys kind of managed that to this point?
I think the fact that we weren't codependent in high school really helped. Like our worlds don't revolve around each other, which has been made this transition a lot easier than it would be.
And it sounds weird because most people are thinking like, so are y'all really that close because of that?
Yeah. And I mean, like, obviously we are. I wouldn't go through the difficulty of having a long distance relationship if I didn't think it was worth it.
Yeah.
But we are just like a nice added bonus to each other's lives. And it's nice that we're both really independent, that like we don't need each other.
Right.
But like we want each other in our lives. And I think that's what has made long distance a lot easier.
Yeah. I like that. You don't sound like you're 18. So when I was 18, I wasn't talking like that. I wasn't thinking like that. But, you know, you do have 2 pretty good parents. So, you know, that might be part of that. So got to give myself a little coup. Come on now. It's my birthday. So got to give me something here. But no, I think that's good. So how, I mean, you know, it was funny because we came out to visit you for family weekend. And that was like our 5 games in 5 days trip when we were just all over the place. But it was funny because we came back, you're like, you guys haven't parented me for like a month. So you like, we were doing like everything.
Yeah.
so
like how I'm home now, I'm milking it. Because I've kept myself alive for the past 2.5 months with no help. No help after the past 18 years of having a lot of help.
No help. You get help every day.
Wrong.
All right. Wrong. Okay. So the day-to-day stuff.
I only call you if I need like a password.
Yeah.
Or if I'm having relative difficulties.
Yeah. It's more, the parenting is more like advising more than anything now, you know, just helping you get through things.
And y'all are just like my friends now.
Yeah. And it's all about giving you tools to work through some of the stuff that you're working through in college. And so, I mean, yeah, we are. We'd like to hang out, which, you know, is really cool. I think when the 18-year-old wants to hang out with her 50-year-old parents, that's pretty cool. But for you, like, do you feel out there like you've grown, like you've matured, you know, like how do you feel that distance from us has changed you as a person?
I feel like I've matured a lot. Like, obviously, I have to be dependent on myself to make sure, like, I'm getting to where I need to be on time. I have to advocate for myself in, like, all situations. I have to network for my own future. Like,
very proud. Very proud. That's good.
And honestly, I think it's been really good for me because obviously I've been pretty independent, like, especially since I was little. But I've really had to, like, tap into that independency and really, like, I don't know, like, grow myself as a person.
Yeah, no, and I love it. And it's one of those things too, as a young woman too, having confidence in yourself, inside, outside, who you are, who you're growing to be, like in this world where you're talking about, like, kids are on their phones all the time, right? You guys live in a world of comparison. I guess I do to an extent. But you know, for you, it's like you're scrolling and you're seeing all this other things and you're seeing your friends doing this or doing that. So how do you maintain that independence? Like, you don't have to be a follower. Like, you can truly be a leader as you grow into the woman that, you know, we know you can be.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like you and Mom have helped a lot in that. Like, you've taught me to be super independent, super confident in myself, and, like, instill that in me like, I've been super confident, independent since I was literally like 1 year old.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I feel like that has not changed. But especially, like, now in this world, I just think about, like, how blessed I am to be in the situation that I am. And just because someone else might, like, have something that, like, I want or, like, look a certain way, like, I choose not to compare myself to that because I'm super blessed in the life that I'm currently living. So I feel like there's no point in comparing that when I have so much.
Yeah, I love it. And when we talk independence, okay, people know, like, I shave my head, right? So, so as a dad with no hair trying to get your daughter ready for school, I think I jacked up your hair a couple times. And just so everybody knows, I didn't do her hair today, obviously. But what was one of the stories? Because didn't I try to put your hair in, like, pigtails or something?
I remember
like
that. Yeah, I was like, Dad, put my hair in pigtails. And you started braiding them. I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I actually put them in pigtails. But I was probably like 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, I couldn't do it myself very good.
Yeah.
But like a year after that, I started just doing my own hair.
Yeah. You're pretty.
But at least you tried.
I tried. I gave it the old try. So you're pretty focused on what you want to do. Obviously, going into school as a sophomore, phenomenal. So what are your plans and goals over the next 2.5 years? Because 3-year plan, you said you want to be out and doing your thing. So what are McKenna's goals?
So I'm going to try and get my credits done as soon as I can. Obviously, I'm going to have to take, like, a class or 2 over the summer, but I'll just take, like, my simple, like, gen ed requirements and then really focus on my major, like, during the school year. And I'm hoping to get some sort of, like, in the athletic department. I'm going to work on that in the next year just to, like, get some experience and then hopefully be done by the end of winter term, which will technically be my senior year. So in, like, 2.5 years. Yeah. And then intern that spring. And then hopefully after that, really try and get my career off the ground because I want to instill myself in the sports business as soon as I can. Yeah. Just so I can kind of just, like, live life for a while and just, like, travel and do my thing for a while before I, like, decide to have a family.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
That's my plan. Yeah. I mean, I went farther than 2.5 years, but
yeah, I mean, no, it's fine. Goal. I think, you know, when you talk about just getting through the academic part of it and then getting out, I think you put the plan together because, I mean, we didn't help with classes, orientation. I mean, your mom went with you, but you were, like, doing everything yourself. It was just really hard to imagine your brothers doing everything that you did to get ready for college because really all they did was worked out. Yeah. They worked out. So, all right. So I got this question. It's a 4-part question. Okay. Right? 4-part question. So, and I know how I would probably answer some of these, but so I'm going to ask you. First one is best Murray athlete.
All around? Yeah. Me.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'll give it to the boys, obviously, like, they're professional athletes, whatever. Yeah. But I played more sports than they did. Yep. I was more well-rounded. Yeah. I mean, I was injured probably 90% of the time, but I was pretty athletic.
No, you
but
were.
I'll give it to them.
Yeah, I would say you definitely were the most well-rounded, and you would seamlessly go from one sport to the other without,
which is hard.
Yeah, and
honestly.
I mean, I know I trained the boys, and I was pretty much their personal trainer, but I can literally count on like two hands how many times you and I were like, you were like, Dad, let's go to the gym and get shots up.
I'd be dedicated for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, literally.
I just get like a burst of energy, and then I would be tired.
And the boys go, Dad, she never works out hard. She da-da-da-da. And I was like, well,
I didn't want to be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So.
So there you go. All right. Second part, smartest Murray.
Let's be serious here.
Yeah.
Me.
Absolutely.
Not you, me.
Okay. All right. If you say so.
If you want to compare our GPAs right now in high school, Dad.
Yeah. It'd be you, then your mom, then me. And no, Keegan will brag because he'll say,
are we including you and Mom?
No. Well, yeah, everybody. It's like the smartest Murray. So I would still
me.
Yeah, still you. But
definitely not the boys.
Keegan will say
them.
Keegan will say he's smarter than Kris because he was like, well,
smarter than Kris. I thought he was about to say smarter than me.
No, because he'll say
that's
academic
crazy.
all. He was like, well, Kris, I got academic all Big Ten. You did.
And Kris was just scraping by.
Yeah.
By the skin of his teeth.
Do you think either one of them will go back and finish their degree? Be honest.
Hell no.
That's probably
like I remember having a conversation with them. I was like, I can never imagine either of you guys having like a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like imagine them like getting in like a suit and tie and going to work in a little cubicle.
I mean,
like when pigs fly.
They don't even dress up to go to
exactly.
a game. So yeah, that'd be a little tough. Yeah. So yeah, we're building something as a family. So I think they'll be okay.
Not with their brains. Maybe with their brawn.
I cannot wait for them to see this. It's gonna be so funny. All right, third part. Oh, I already know who this one is. The funniest Murray.
I can't say me for every question. I'm up there, but I would say Kris.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's really funny.
He is. And the best part though, like that's the one thing like people don't get to see. And we're working on some projects that people will get a little bit of a look inside of our family. Yeah. But the interaction between those two.
So funny.
Yeah, it's so hilarious. Funny. And so, and it's interesting too, because a lot of people don't realize like, even though it's 1 minute, like Kris is older than Keegan.
Yeah.
And when they're together, you can kind of see that older brother, younger brother dynamic, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so weird. And I think that's, people probably think Keegan's older because of how he's been in like the limelight and kind of how he carries himself. And obviously their journeys are different, but we both know super talented, both of them.
When we're all together, he's definitely the middle child.
Yeah.
Keegan is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Last part, and yeah, I think we all know this one. So who's the most caring Murray or empathetic Murray?
Mom.
Absolutely.
Obviously, but like under wraps, I would say Keegan.
Yeah.
Like with he doesn't speak it, but like actions speak louder than words. And like his actions show that he's a very caring person.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just, what he got me for my birthday, I was like, I was so surprised. And
yeah, like because you wouldn't think that he would think of that.
Yeah.
But he does.
He does. Yeah. And I'm surprised. And Kris probably put his name on it too. I didn't.
Yeah, it's definitely not Kris.
So we had to share that story. So
for Christmas last year,
yeah.
When he bought
you want to tell it or you want me to tell it?
You can tell it.
All right. So you could chime in. So last Christmas, so Kris gets a new house. He and Sophie move into a new house right before Christmas. And and the boys played each other the day after. So we're like, everybody was there. Mm-hmm. And I think Keegan called Kris and was like, hey, what'd you get Mom and Dad for Christmas? And he goes, well, I'm hosting. So
I was supposed to get them gifts.
Yeah, I was supposed to get them gifts. So you could tell the rest of it.
Yeah, he was like, money's tight. And I was like, okay, so, he was like, well, I'm providing the hospitality. Yeah. I'm providing the house. I just bought it. And we were like, okay. He put his name on all of Keegan and Carly's gifts. So it said, it was like to whoever from Keegan, Carly, and Kris.
Yeah, absolutely. So, dude, it's just so funny, but that's them. That's completely them. So, yeah, this year will be a little bit separated, but no, I think, going back to it, what you said about Keegan and your mom is probably the truth. Like she's like that. She's a spirit guide. She's the one that's always trying to have everybody in that Zen place. And she definitely is very empathetic, as we know, when it comes to the dogs that we foster. And
yeah, because why do we have 4 dogs right now?
Yeah, because the last one, I mean, I guess the last one's kind of on me. So, but maybe the last 2, I don't know. But it's all good. She's definitely turned me into a dog lover. So she's good there. All right. So we do this every show. We do rapid fire questions. So first question for you is, would you rather have cookie, cake, or pie? And then what flavor?
Cookie. Chocolate chip cookie.
Is there a specific brand or just anything?
Just any chocolate chip cookie.
Okay, yeah. I come home last night.
Low-key the cookie dough, too.
Yeah, there was chocolate chip cookies done last night, so I had a few of those, and I got home.
Yeah, and I polished them off when you went to bed.
Oh.
Of course I did.
Gotcha. Well, I grabbed a few before I headed to bed, too. So, all right. Next question is, and I think I know this answer, but bucket list travel destination.
Italy.
Just the country, or is there a certain place you want to go?
My dream, literally since like 5th grade, has been Capri, Italy.
Yeah.
It's like a little island.
Yeah. Well,
so
kind of interesting that we'll be heading there in a couple
2 years.
Couple years. Yeah, absolutely.
So
for sure.
Excited.
All right. Last one. You get to have dinner with 3 people that are living today. Any 3 people.
Oh.
Who would they be and why?
That's so hard.
Well, I think I know one of them.
What do you think?
Your mom and I had said she probably would. For real?
Who
just finished her like
Taylor
17-year
Swift
tour, whatever.
Yeah, I love her, but I wouldn't choose her.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, this is so random, but I've been on a Wicked kick, obviously. But Cynthia Erivo, not even just from Wicked, but I've loved her since she was in The Color Purple on Broadway.
Yeah.
And just like her story and her voice is so powerful. And like I've watched interviews with her, and she's just such an amazing human being. Like I just want to like sit down and talk to her.
Okay.
She's wonderful.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking now. Like that was literally the only thing on my mind.
I know, I like putting people on the spot when it comes to it.
Yeah, wait, that's hard.
Is there anyone not with us that you would like to have dinner with to ask questions and conversate? Oh gosh, I don't know. Do I want to hear this? Huh?
The first person that came to my mind was Abraham Lincoln.
Oh my God.
I don't know why. That's not on the list though. It's not on the list. Like I literally don't know.
Well, you had conversations with people that aren't here.
Yeah, my grandma used to talk to ghosts.
Yeah.
That was honestly actually like one of the first people that came to my mind too was Grandma Roosevelt.
Yeah. So
because apparently I talked to her as a ghost.
So quick story was I remember, you'd be downstairs playing dolls or something like that, and you'd be talking, and we just figured like you'd be doing whatever. And so I was talking, and then when you made the comment to your mom, she was doing your hair, and you're like 2, maybe 2-ish or 3, and you asked if you had a grandma or grandpa in heaven, and she said, yeah. And I think
in a blue dress, specifically a blue dress.
And then your mom asked you, where do you see him or whatever, and what'd you say?
Wasn't she like in the corner or something?
Yeah, she was like, you pointed like to the mirror, and because your mom was doing your hair, you pointed to the mirror, and like she's right there. But your Aunt Pam told me that grandma used to always play with her, like play dolls on the floor, and you would always get out your bucket of dolls, and you'd be downstairs playing on the floor, just kind of going, and then there'd be times where the dogs would go to your room, and they would just sit in the doorway and they'd stare into the room like nobody be in there. But it wasn't a scary thing. It was just one of those things. And we've had people in our family that would be like, quote, seers. You had I'm not sure if it was a great aunt or great aunt who she was labeled a white witch, like a good witch. So she did. And grandma, when I had back issues and stuff like that, like she would make these concoctions and stuff like that, and my mom, your grandma, would bring them home and she'd rub on my back and stuff like that, and dude, stuff would be feeling great. So I've had back issues since high school. So, but no, it was just I remember that so vividly. And the only time you were in Grandma Roosevelt's presence was when you were 6 months old.
Yeah, and in the picture, she was wearing the blue dress.
She was wearing the blue dress in the picture. So she came to you in a very like safe and assuring in wearing something that you recognize because that was the last time you saw her. So we had to throw up that picture sometime and show that.
Okay,
so.
I have my answer now.
Okay, all right. Go ahead and finish it out.
Cynthia Erivo, I would say Taylor Swift because I want to hear all the details about all her relationships because I'm so nosy and I want to know what happened with her ex that she just dated for 6 years.
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued.
Yeah.
And I'm just a nosy human being, so like I want to know really bad.
Yeah.
And then, okay, this is random, but Tyler, the Creator, he's an artist.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. I just want to like have him or Kevin Hart because I love Kevin Hart.
Yeah. That's funny. That's just so random. The only one I thought maybe when I said living was Taylor Swift. The other ones I had no idea. But yeah, you did say Wicked is pretty good.
Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
Like summer. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
But no, I just man, this has been awesome. You know, obviously having you on. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your future. Like you definitely make me proud every day. And to say that yeah, you're the kids will probably say you're out of all you guys, they'll probably say you're our favorite. But you know, I think
favorite, smartest, prettiest.
Yeah. Well, you and I have a special relationship, just like your mom and the boys do. When they went to prep school, you and I were together 6.5 months.
Yeah, in the most formative years. I was a 14-year-old girl in middle school with braces.
Yeah,
and the only
glasses.
Person I had was my dad.
Yeah. So I think when people see us, they know how close we are.
Yeah.
And obviously.
And we're the same person.
We're the same person.
Terrifying.
Yeah, your mom is so funny when that happens.
She hates it. She hates it.
That's you. You go deal with her. So, but yeah, no, I think, yeah, you know, I'm just super proud of you. And I know like whatever you set your mind to, you'll achieve. I mean, you've been doing it since you started jabbering full sentences before you were, I think you're about 1 year old, and the boys are like, is she going to talk this much all the time?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes, that's the case. So thank you for coming on. And to you, you know, just thanks again for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Like this is probably one of the most special episodes because of the relationship I have. But until next time, I'm your host, Kenyon Murray. Let's keep connecting.